Hola, muy amigos. And I just want it to be known that I told Kieran before, I said, I'm going to say hello, my friends in Portuguese. And he goes, that's just obrigado, right? I, ju- I need everyone to know that just happened. Okay. What do you have to say for yourself?
Ron, I'm ashamed. My language knowledge is usually much better than that. I uh,
Yeah,
I should have known it's just
obrigado, my
hola,
friend.
bro. It's literally Spanish or
That's true,
similar
actually. Yeah.
Spanish, but
Yeah, this one was really easy. This is like not like speaking
no,
Somali
I could
one
have
bit.
like if I spent like 10 more seconds, probably came up with that. But say la
Mm.
vie,
But instead, you got obrigado.
obrigado, Neil.
So, so obrigado, everybody. Welcome back to Shifting Gears with two instead of three co-hosts this week. Um, we had a regional in Brazil, and that's why we're speaking Portuguese. I heard of yeah. There's a lot more like stuff going on this time compared to LAC. Like I saw someone's like shower blew up. I saw someone got robbed through an Uber driver window. Like stuff was going on. Brazil was eventful. So
Yeah, sounds like it.
that was my timeline was very, very eventful. So what we're gonna be doing today, we do not have a random regional winner on today. We gotta work on that. We should have gotten Pedro on, but
I
whatever,
know.
it's all good. We're gonna do the tier list of Twilight Masquerade. That's what it's called.
Yeah, I think there's still some cards that might still be coming out, but like we've seen basically all the good ones now. Some broken or potentially broken ace specs. I think when we get to the new box card, that'll be interesting. So yeah, I thought it'd be fun. We just go through the new cards and rank them.
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
just felt like a banana bucket hat day. So I just want to explain my wardrobe. Just felt like it. Sunny outside. It's the middle of the day. We normally don't record in the middle of the day, so I just felt like it was a banana bucket hat day. And leading into that, this week's episode is sponsored by Banana Games, who has been generous enough to give us 18 booster packs. There's half a box to give away to one of you listeners, and God help us shipping that out to you. So I hope somebody local wins, or we can meet you at a regionals because we are down bad. But we have 18 packs of Temporal Forces to give away. So brought to you by Banana Games, store downtown Toronto in Aura Shops. If you're ever in Toronto, that is your spot. They got plushies, they got cards, they got sealed, they got vintage, they got everything, and they will make sure you're a happy customer. Okay. Um, Steps to enter. First of all, please like this video. Second of all, please subscribe. And third of all, follow both Kieran and I on Twitter and Banana Games on Instagram. And then comment down below. What should people comment? Hmm.
comment what you think the best and the worst card from Twilight Masquerade is,
Okay, good. I like that. I thought you were gonna say
and
like best and worst, like LeBron
and
tweet or something.
and comment what type of bucket hat Neil should get you next.
Facts. That's true. I'm actually running out. I only have two more that I haven't worn on air. So, yeah, comment what kind of bucket hat I should get next, and I'll go find it at like a Walgreens or something. So yes, thank you to Banana Games. It's awesome. We're gonna give away half a box to you guys of Temporal Forces. Hopefully, you pull some Altar Crowns because I think Future might be on the rise, but we'll see. So do you want to start with trivia, or should we just get right into this?
No, let's get right into it. Then we'll do some trivia on the in the middle. Let's break it up that way. So
Sounds
we'll
like a
have
plan.
Dragapult is our like halfway mark, and then
Okay.
we'll transition.
So you can see the tier list on the screen there. Unfortunately, this tier list did not come with like card text, just photos.
Yeah,
So,
we'll put them on. And if you're
um,
listening, audio listeners, we'll describe which the cards does out loud too.
yes. Okay. Perfect. So, starting with Thwacky, big old Thwacky. That's the first one there, right? I'm
Yeah,
not missing this.
with the
Okay,
ability Boom
fantastic.
Boom Drum.
Is that actually what it's called in English?
Well, I mean, that's the translation from Japanese. We don't know what the English name is yet.
No, it's Bang Bang Drum. Bang Bang Drum.
Ah, okay. Well, I'm on
Yeah.
this Justin Basil site. It says Boom Boom Drum. But yeah,
Well, we
once
haven't.
during your turn, if your active Pokemon has the Festival Lead ability, you can search your deck for a card and put it into your hand. So I mean, there's a lot of these like Festival Lead. Like, there's a stadium that we'll talk about, like all of them as we get there. I mean, anything that literally says search your deck for any card that's stackable seems like decent to me.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I feel like you have to kind of have some kind of like control strategy, and then like the Festival Lead Pokemon aren't that good, so you kind of have to have it as a pivot. But like, I don't know, I feel like you can pivot those and have something else. Um, my gut reaction is this is like a B tier. You know, what do you think?
Well, the way I'm reading it is it means like yeah, it's super stackable, so you can have like four of these if you wanted to. It doesn't say once a turn. I think like Yeah, it's probably a B tier. I mean, like with cards like this that are so gimmicky, you never know whether it's like absolutely broken or like the worst thing in the world. So for that, and like the fact that I haven't really seen it in any Japanese list yet, I'll go with a solid B. I like B.
Yeah, it's B and covering on C. The other thing is there's no good Rillaboom cards. Like I feel like if there was good, or is there any
Hmm.
good Rillaboom cards? Am I tripping? Like there's a Rillaboom EX, I think, but it's not
There
that good.
used to be, but I don't think there is one anymore.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know. Like if a good Rillaboom ever comes out, like this will be good.
Hmm.
Okay, the next card is Dipplin, and it has the Festival Lead ability. So the Festival Lead ability is if Festival Grounds, which is a stadium card, is in play, this Pokemon may use an attack it has twice. If the first attack knocks out your opponent's active, they promote and you attack again. And its attack is do the wave. It does 20 for each of your bench Pokemon.
Do you remember when that was like the best attack in the game?
I do when Chinchino had it. Or no, sorry, when back in base set when Wigglytuff had it. But even when Chinchino had it back in black and white, it was really good. So I don't know, like this seems D tier to me. That attack sucks. Like the only reason this would ever be playable is because of Thwacky. And one really lame thing is you can't, or maybe not lame, probably good for balance, is you can't use TMs on the Festival Lead Pokemon. So
Yes.
I don't know. Do you think D tier or C tier for this card?
I actually don't think this is as bad as we think. I also don't like I said, it's very hit or miss with this, but this attack actually isn't terrible. I mean, you're doing 100 twice, so you're hitting 200.
It's a grass type,
And like
so Charizard, I guess, is weak to it.
yeah, you have good typing. You're stage 1, it's 1 energy. I mean like I'm not saying this is good, but I've seen worse things is what I'll say. I think D might be harsh. I feel like a C is a good like is C that well I mean there's also like a conversation of criteria to be happened here. So C are we seeing as like a tier 3, tier 4 rogue?
So the way I would say is like S tier means this card will 100% see play. A tier is probably like this card is gonna like see widespread play. B I would say like the card is gonna see like moderate play or like niche
Okay.
play or maybe even niche play. I don't know. C is or I'd say C is probably like the niche play. Like it'll see very little play, but it, like could see play. And then D tier to me is like this will not see play.
So D is just complete ass.
Yeah, I'd say D's the worst one. D would be like I would be shocked if like this card ever has a limitless page.
Okay, okay. If in that case I'd put it at C.
Okay, I think C is fair. It's like in the
I think
niche.
C's super fair.
Yeah, niche play. Yeah, I think that makes sense to me as well.
A lot of interesting Pokemon here that I've like never seen before, by the way.
Yeah, the next one is called Poltergeist. Or wait, no, it's called no Sinistcha. Sinistcha?
Sinistea?
No, it's called Sinistcha. It's like the regional variation evolution of Sinistea, I think.
Oh, Sinistra.
Yeah, so
Oh.
it's a grass type. It's a stage 1 with 70 health. So its first attack is just put 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like. That's not good. The next one is discard up to 3 basic grass energy cards from your Pokemon in play. It does 70 for each discarded. So you can do 210 for, I guess, 1 if you have grass in play. I don't know. This one seems D tier to me.
This is D tier. I don't even know why some of these cards are on this list. These are just complete garbage.
Okay, but the next card is Sinistcha EX. So maybe there's a split evolution line.
there.
So its attack is for 1 colorless. For each basic grass energy in your discard pile, put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Then shuffle them back into your deck. And then second attack is grass colorless 120, heal 30 from yourself. This also seems D tier to me.
It's D tier.
Alright, next. We have Ogerpon. So Ogerpon's actually pretty cool. It's like the main mechanic for this set. I haven't played
Yeah.
the DLC. I don't know if you have, but I think this is like the legendary from it. And from my understanding, like it has masks and like forms. It like switches types and like it's a different mask. So there's a card that lets you switch between the different Ogerpons.
Okay.
But this is the grass version. Ogerpon EX. So its ability, Heal Dance. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic grass energy from your hand to this Pokemon. If you attach energy to a Pokemon this way, draw a card. So it self-accelerates. Its attack is 3 grass, 30 plus 30 more for each energy attached to both actives.
Okay.
So my initial thoughts are it actually combos kind of well with, or not Virizion, with Iron Leaves EX. Like it's like a way to get a cheat and extra energy into play for that. If you have 3 energies on it against Charizard, you're doing enough to knock it out. So
Yeah.
that's not that bad. This could be maybe like a Charizard counter. I don't think the card's that good, but like I don't think it's horrible.
It's also basic, right?
Yeah, it's a basic.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think this is one of those things where, I don't know, like at some niche point in time where Charizard is just running over everything. This might have like the Espathra syndrome, where like it'll just pop up randomly and just do well in like a random grass deck. Like I think this could be okay actually. Like this is definitely the best card we reviewed so far, which is saying absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
But
I think it's with Wacky.
yeah, yeah. It's I mean the fact you can also change into any of the ogre pawns too. Maybe someone
Yeah.
will come up with something cool for that. So
Yeah, we'll talk about
I
that.
don't mind it.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna throw that in B tier. I think.
B tier's good.
Would you put it above or below Thwacky?
Probably above.
I was gonna say below. I feel like someone like there's gonna be a deck eventually with Thwacky that like does
Okay,
something
all right,
broken.
sure. Put it below.
They're
I'm
like
cool.
similar tier. Okay, next thing you know, this card actually really, I think its attack is fun. We got the Macargo EX Terra type, stage 1, 270 HP fire type. First attack is just fire colorless, 70 damage, they're burned, boring. The next one though is fire colorless, 140. Each player discards the top card of their deck. For each energy discarded, deal 140 more. So obviously you're the only one who can control what's on top of your deck. So like if you put an energy with like Cypher or something, like you do 280, which is decent. That knocks out any V stars. It doesn't knock out Charizard, which is pretty important to me.
Yeah. Well, you can max belt it, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. You can max belt, but I guess you also have to find a way to like accelerate to this, right? I mean, you have Magma Basin. I don't know. It's cool to me, but I don't know. Like, could you see this being the star of a deck?
Here's what I'm gonna say about my cargo, okay? And I tweeted this when it came out. This has the sickest card art of any recent card I've seen in my life because it's just so derpy. It looks so stupid. Like, it's so stupid that I want this to be good, but I don't think it'll be good. I think it might be okay. Like you know what? It'll have the same utility as Magcargo GX. Is what I'll say. That will be my hot take. It'll be like a random like niche card, but it won't be that good.
Yeah, I think this is C tier for me. I don't really think this is. This might be like
You
one
don't
person.
believe in it?
One person might win a League Cup with this or make day 2 of a regional, but I can't ever see this being that good.
Okay. C tier it is. I like it. I think the card art is sick.
No, I think the
that's
card
just
is cool,
me
but
being
I don't
biased.
think it's that good of a card. Also, fun fact about its Pokedex entry is it's hotter than the sun. So I don't know how any trainer ever has a Macargo on their team. Because everyone should
How
just...
does that work exactly?
I don't know. This Pokedex entry is hotter than the sun.
The world of Pokemon.
Yeah. Okay, next up, actually...
That would,
No, go
I
ahead.
was gonna get really nerdy right there.
No,
I'm
go,
glad you stopped me.
finish your thought. Get nerdy for the
Dude,
viewers.
I'm an environmental science major. I was about to get so nerdy. I was about to say, hey, that would heat up the Earth beyond levels you've ever seen. But it's good. Cut me off. I don't need to say that on live.
Okay. Next up, we have Infernape. This is just worse Excalibur. Its ability is once during your turn, you can attach a basic fire or fighting, or attach a basic fire and a basic fighting, or one of each from your hand to your Pokemon any way you like. Its attack is just 2 fire and the color is 200. Yeah, that's just like a weird combo to me. You have to like split your energy line. Like, I don't know why this isn't just like Excalibur where it's just like put as many fighting or fire as you want. It's a stage 2. It has 140 health. It doesn't have a card like Irida to go with it. I don't know. I don't think this card's good, Neil. What do you think?
I don't think it's good, but I think it might have some utility. Like, I mean, like, fighting is a good typing. It always is, right? Like, there's always got to be some sort of application. You think about, like, Ting Lu. You think about, like, Koraidon. It has Gutsy Pickaxe. You have a little bit of support. Do I think it's good? No. But it's passable. It's a C tier.
Yeah, we're probably in the C tier.
Yeah, I like C tier here.
Okay, next up we have the Fire Ogerpon Mask. This one's actually been revealed in English, so. Okay, it's basic. First attack, fire, colorless, 20 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. It has 210 health. Second attack, triple fire. If your opponent's active Pokemon's an evolution, it does 140 more and discard all energy. So basically 280 discard all energy. I don't know, I think in like fire decks, this could maybe see play, but I mean, like, you already have Gouging Fire, which is just 260 for 3. I guess the breakpoint this hits is if you play Max Belt, you one-shot Charizard, or if you attack V-Stars, you knock them out.
I think the numbers, like you said, I think the breakpoints are way better than Gouging Fire. Obviously, you come with a unique set of challenges. You could discard all energies, which is not fun. But you have a one retreat cost. Like it's not the most immovable thing in the world, and I actually think that it could have some utility early game if you're able to. You start playing the max spell version of Zard again. You nitpick this thing early game, and you're knocking out your opponent's Zard. Like that's a pretty big swing in a mirror. Actually, it could be pretty good. Like if you're going like turn 2 and you're just KOing a Zard,
Yeah,
pretty decent.
that is true. Actually, that has that utility. Yeah, actually, I'd say this is like a B tier. This is like a tech card. I can't ever see this card being the star of a deck, but like you said, I could see it maybe slipping into a fire deck as a utility mon.
I actually think this will be relevant. I don't know if it'll be good. I think people will try it though. Like
Yeah.
you can't not. And it's also good too. Like if your opponent's not playing max build, you can soak up an attack against Zard. It's a good
Yeah,
beat
sure,
stick
early in
because
the
you have
game.
the outrage attack.
Yeah,
So, I don't hate it.
They don't want to tag into it. If they play max belt though, you can't really do that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Next up, we have Goldeen, another Festival lead Pokemon. So basically, it can use its attack twice. So its attack is 2 colorless, 10 damage, flip a coin of heads, discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So you could flip double heads and discard 2. This feels pretty bad to me. Like the only reason it might ever be relevant is it has Festival lead, and there is a Goldeen that has you know that Finneon where its ability is like you can attach waters to everything that has swim freely.
Oh. Yeah.
So you could play this and evolve it to Gold Sea King, use Finneon, and attack with that. This sounds like a
You know what I
great
feel
deck
like?
for like bad deck IRL, but
Dude, I legit feel like we're like LDF. Like we're
No,
just
I
Little
do.
Dark Fury right now. Like
Yeah.
legit. Like we're just like populating airwaves. Like, hey, here's this cool rogue deck. I'm hoping that at some point, and this is nothing to do with Goldeen. God bless Goldeen. But I'm hoping at some point we get something actually meta defining on this list.
we have
I
some
don't think
coming
Goldeen
up.
is the
Don't
one.
worry. Yeah, I don't think it is either. But anyway,
Fantastic.
is it D tier or is it C tier?
Yeah. Oh hell yeah, it's D tier.
All right, D tier. There you go. Sorry,
Get that
Goldeen.
thing out of here. Sorry, LDF.
Okay, next up we have Frostlash. One thing to know about Frostlash is it's a split evolution. You can also evolve to Glalie, which I don't know if it's on this tier list. We can discuss. Okay, so Frostlash. During Pokemon Checkup, put 1 damage counter on each Pokemon in play with an ability, both yours and your opponent's, except for Frostlash. So that's kind of interesting to me. You can, like, if you get a bunch of them in play, like, it stacks. So, like, and it goes between both people's turns. So, like, my turn ends, your turn ends. Like, if you're playing as Chempao, for example, like let's say you have 3 of these in play, like, their Bibarel and Bax takes 3. If they don't get rid of any of them, like, going back to your turn, they take another 3.
Yeah.
I don't
I have concerns with this. I mean, like 90 HP is my first concern.
Yep.
That's sketch. But I actually like. I mean, we've seen this in the past, right? Where an ability like this is actually really, really good, and the fact it doesn't have to be active. You pair this maybe, and I think this is thinking a little bit too jank, but maybe if you found a way to put this with Dragapult, you're laughing, man.
Yeah.
You're laughing. This is half decent card.
Yeah, I think my problem with this card is, like, it damages your Pokemon with that ability too. So, like, I can't, if I play Dragon Ball, for example, which we'll get to, is like the stage 1 has like an ability. If I play Bibarel, that has an ability. So I think if the card didn't say damage your own Pokemon as well, this would be a lot better. Also,
Yeah.
why does this have 90 health?
Yeah, it's like to balance it, I guess. I mean, it's
I
so like
guess.
Greninja-able. I don't like it. And like the other thing is too, like even your Tatsugiris, which you're probably using as a an engine, which we'll get into later, you're also taking damage there. So
Yeah, I
if
mean,
there was like I don't know if there was a Tapu Lele in the format like the old one where you can move damage counters around, I think this could actually be decent.
yeah, there's a Glalie that's attack is like 1 energy, like does 20 for each damage counter on their active, so you're maybe supposed to combat with that, but I don't know. It's a huge space commitment. Like, I'm not playing better Pokemon in my deck. This is like, I don't know, again, like I think an LDF type card, so I'm going to put it in the C tier. What do you think?
Shout out LDF, bro. Shout out LDF.
Yeah.
He's gonna be busy. He's gonna be a busy boy. We're not gonna see him in the next like 2 months. He's gonna be at home making videos about all these jank cards.
Yeah. Okay, now I think our next card has potential to be our first contender for the A or the S tier.
Yes, I agree.
We got Palafin EX. But before we can get to Palafin EX, we have to look at normal stage 1 Palafin that evolves from Finizen. Palafin and Finizen look the exact same before they like switch
They do.
forms, by the way.
Yeah.
Alright, so once its ability. Once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from the active spot to the bench, you may search your deck for Palafin EX and switch it with this Pokemon. Any attached cards, damage, special conditions, turns in play, and any other effects remain on the new Pokemon. And then you shuffle this back. And the Palafin EX comes out. It has 340 HP for a stage 1. And its attack is just 1 energy, 250. This Pokemon can't attack during your next turn. I don't know, this seems pretty good to me.
Yeah. This Pokemon's super broken in VGC, or at least used to be. This Pokemon as a whole is like super, super unique, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think about like the first thing I think of when I see this ability is probably not the first thing anyone thinks of, but I think of all like the weird interactions it can have in Expanded and stuff, where you can just like turn off the ability and evolve this thing from a bunch of Denizens.
Yeah, I was
Like,
thinking that too, because like so the ability on Palafin has put it into play with the effect of whatever that's called, 0 to hero. But like, yeah, I was like, yeah, if you shot the ability, are you just allowed to evolve this?
Yeah, like what's stopping you? There's no ability.
Yeah. So.
Right?
Yeah.
And, like, so you can, if you can get a bunch out and you're cycling 250, 250, 250, and you retreat into each other, I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I guess my one concern with this be, it's like, how do I heal this? Because like, if you Taro, for example, it's like you have to pull it from the deck. You can't just pull it from the hand again. And there's not really a way to put this back easily. And like 250 is a nice number, but like, I don't know, like what are we knocking out with 250?
Not a whole lot. It's a little awkward.
Yeah, so
You need to play Belt. Like, that's the only way.
the one thing I'll say is like 340 is like a lot of health. Like there's basically like what, like Chen-Pao can one-shot that, and like I don't know what else can one-shot this that's meta relevant right now.
Zard after a long time.
Yeah, Zard at cause yeah, if you take 5, you're doing 150, 180. You're still not one-shotting. You need a damage modifier still. But
You need a max belt.
yeah, I don't know. This
Yeah, the first thing that came to my mind was Luxray, like the basic Luxray with reversal.
Yeah.
If this were to ever get huge, I would think that would have a little bit of an uptick like it did at the beginning of the year when Lugia was big.
yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Like I think it's cool. I think it's gonna have a place. I think the whole like during this next turn your Pokemon can't attack thing is a little bit interesting. I think Prime Catcher is a huge buff to this.
Yep.
Obviously, you're going to play a lot of switches. Escape Rope leaving kind of sucks because Switch Cart doesn't really replace that in this
Yep.
sense. Like you said, Turo doesn't work. There's a lot. I think there's a supporter coming out, and correct me if I'm wrong on this list, that has an option of like switch or
Yeah,
draw
it
cards
does.
or
And
something.
we'll get to it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna like tentatively put this A tier. I think. What do you think? I think.
I agree.
Yeah, I would not be surprised though if this card kind of flops. Like it's just raw stats is actually one of the best I've seen ever on a card. You got to figure out partners to go with it, and a way to like kind of like cycle. So, yeah, for now I think A tier is fine. Our first.
Yeah, 250 is a big nerf. That's the issue.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
the 250. Maybe you play this with Frostlass. You fix some math or something. Like
yeah.
I don't know. There's got to be some sort of application for this.
Yeah, maybe. To soften stuff up, but like what has an ability? So Charizard has an ability. It's an attacker. Chen-Pao,
Pidgey.
but you already knocked out Chen-Pao. Yeah, Pidgeot has one.
Comfy Cramorant.
That is true.
There's a
Actually,
good
against
amount.
Lost Box decks, yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, maybe. Maybe Frostlass might sneak up to B tier, but
All
yeah.
the future Pokemon actually, except for Hands. Well, sorry, I guess just Crown.
Yeah, but you knocked that out anyways. So like, I don't know if that's that relevant.
You do. I'm just thinking if there's some sort of way to like move damage around, but I suppose not. Like, there's got to be some cards in this format that
Yeah.
people who have more time than us have found that will like make this work.
Yeah.
I trust Limitless.
Yeah. Okay, next up we have
All right, what do we got next?
our third Ogerpon EX. We have the Wellspring Mask, the Water Ogerpon. So its first attack is colorless Sob. 20 damage, your opponent's active can't
Nice.
retreat during the next turn. So I mean, that's always a decent attack for utility. But its main attack is a watercolor. It's colorless, 100 damage. You may shuffle 3 energy attached Pokemon into your deck. If you do, this attack also does 120 to your opponent's benched Pokemon. It's like okay. Like you could maybe play this in Chen-Pao. 120, like I'm just comparing it to Greninja, right? So like you're basically getting like a little bit extra, that 120. So like does that 120 snipe matter? My gut reaction is actually like it doesn't really hit any breakpoints. Because people are
I think
gonna,
it does though.
but people play Manaphy. Like for example, I was thinking like this knocks out Bibarel, for example, but any deck that plays Bibarel plays Manaphy. Besides like Arceus, but you don't really want to attack with this against Arceus. Against matchups that don't play Manaphy, like I don't know, let's pick what's one like Ancient Box for example. Like
Sure.
120 is like just short of what you need. I don't know, this is a card where it's like I feel like eventually it could be good if like these breakpoints matter and like people stop playing Manaphy, but like I don't know, for now like it doesn't seem that good. It's a 2 prize Pokemon as well, and the reason Greninja is so good is it's a 1 prize Pokemon.
Well, what I'll say about this is I actually think it gets nerfed by being the same set as Greninja EX, because Greninja EX is so good that people are going to be attacking Manaphy for that alone, and then you're just getting caught in the crossfire as Wellspring Mask Ogerpon EX, whatever the hell that is. You're just getting caught in the crossfire. I think, I think the card has the potential to be good. I think the card is a good like splashable card at some point for some deck somewhere somehow. I don't think it's gonna be too impactful. It would be probably a C tier for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it top of C tier, ahead of Appleton.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all in the comments, let us know what your
Or
tier
Dipplin,
list looks
Dipplin, I
like.
think it's called.
I like Appleton sounds cooler.
Yeah.
Diplin's the middle one. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, so this next card I think has potential. We have the Luxray EX, 310 HP. First
Yep.
attack, 2 colorless, 120. Your opponent reveals their hand and choose a card and discard it. So it's not like Fang Snipe. This can get rid of any card. And that second attack is just 2 lightning, 250, discard all energy. So this is very obviously a control card. I guess you could like evolve to it. Like if you're already playing Rare Candy for Pidgeot, you can play this. The Luxio, unfortunately, like actually Luxio like has like your opponent can't retreat during the next turn. I was gonna say if it had a better like attack, maybe it could be better because you could play Relicanth. But it has 60, so you can't really like lock things that easily. I don't know. I think it's like decent. Like you can tank with it maybe.
90 health on Luxio sketches me out. I think the fact that none of the pre-evolutions have like a protective ability of some sort makes it a little bit worse. Just because when I'm thinking about like what kind of deck you'd be playing this in, like you said, it'd be like kind of control-y and stuff like that, and you don't want to play Manaphy, you don't want to play stuff like that.
Yeah.
60 HP on Shinx' sketch, you get 2 down, you're still getting Lost Mind. 90 HP on Luxio. Like I'm not saying the card's gonna be bad. I think the card's definitely good, and I think it's overhyped. I think
Yeah.
that first attack's a little bit overhyped. Like people were freaking out on Twitter. I don't think
Because
it's,
like, what's the difference? Like, obviously there's a difference, but like, how much better is being able to discard any card versus discarding a trainer with like Luxray V? And it's like Luxray V is like you can cycle it with Penny. You can put like Bravery Charm to basically give it like a bunch of health. It's just like way more low. Like with this, if you want to keep recycling it with Turo or something, it's like you have to like discard energies. You have to keep cycling rare candies if you have those. It's like I actually like don't think this card's that good. I think Luxray V is actually way better than this card, at least in my opinion. So
I could see this as like just an attacker, like a late game attacker in like an attacking deck. I know Miraidon's kind of dead, but like something like that where you could like generate to it or something. You Iono and you use Piercing Glint. That seems pretty good to me.
yeah,
The other thing is too, you hit 250. Like it's good damage for 2 energies, especially when a card that says Generator is in the format.
yeah, but it's a stage 2, so it's like I don't know.
Yeah, I'm being optimistic. I don't think it's that good, but I also think like it's one of those cards that could be cool if it becomes good. So I kind of want it to become good.
So I think it goes top of C tier with the Ogre Pawn. What do you think?
Sure.
All right,
Sure.
I think it goes there.
I think we're gonna get some flack for that one. I think probably most people are gonna put it in B tier, but I'm okay with C tier.
Splitting hairs. Okay, the next one, I actually think this card's good. The Iron Thorns EX, basic lightning, 230 HP. As long ability, initialize. As long as this Pokemon's in the active spot, Pokemon with a rule box in play have no abilities except any future Pokemon. This attack is lightning, colorless, 140, moving energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. So obviously this is very good lead in the future box deck. It shuts off stuff like Chempao. It shuts off Charizard EX, which I think is actually very relevant. It shuts off Greninja. It shuts off Pidgeot. It shuts off a lot of things, to be honest. And 140 is not a lot of damage, but when you play the future booster capsule and you have the Iron Crown, like you can start buffing those numbers up. So I think this card's pretty good. I don't know if you can play like a deck focused on this, but I think 1 or 2 copies in future box is definitely going to be staple going forward.
I've seen a couple builds by themselves.
I saw those too.
Yeah, I don't think they're good, but like I think you're right. I think the card like is strong. It has a really good ability. We're seeing a lot more of these like item locky abilities coming back, or sorry, ability lock abilities coming back. A lot more than I thought. So that's been interesting, and I do think there's a place for it. I think so many of the decks now rely on abilities, and this has been a thing for years now. But you think about even decks like Charizard, Pidgeot, and stuff, like you can just shut off the whole deck like this. I also think though that the last few sets have been Pokemon making up for how good Charizard is. There's been a lot of hate coming out. Like I even look at Leaves. I look at like all the grass type Pokemon here. Like it's very clear that they want to not create this like tier 0 meta. I'd be interested to see if Charizard fights through this one or not. But you know what? Now that I think about it, like Thorns is splashable in what Future Box that already has a bad matchup in Zard anyways. Like, is it really doing that much?
Yeah, my one problem with this in Future Box is if you're leading this, you're not attacking with Miraidon. So it's like, how is this getting powered up? So do you start maybe playing double turbo? Do you start? I mean, you can if you're going second, you can put on the bench and generator and then put it up. I don't know. Like the card to me is obviously powerful, but like I don't think it's like meta warping or anything. I think I'd still put an A tier because I think it's like an insanely powerful effect and it slots really easily. Has decent health. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think A tier is good. It has like for me the reason why I put it in A tier is because it has the potential to go crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like I don't think we're looking at it right now being like this is gonna kill the whole format, but like it has the potential where like the stats are good enough and like the ability is good enough that it could do something. So
Yeah.
it also has the support of the future boost stuff, so
Yeah.
it's important.
I do think late game too, like you alluded to this, like if you play Iona or Roxanne, then maybe like put up this and take a knockout, like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, next up, I don't know why they keep putting these on the tier list. We have Swirlix. It has Festival Lead. Its attack is for Psychic. Put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. You can do it twice. And
Okay, no.
This is
no,
bottom of
let's
D
move
tier.
Let's move on.
All right, next up we have Screamtail EX. All right, when I saw this get revealed, I was like, oh, and I didn't read the effect. I'm like, oh, is this going to be a good card for Gardevoir? It's a little underwhelming in my opinion. So it has 190 HP on an EX. Its first attack for Colorless. You can use this attack only if you go second and only during your first turn. During your opponent's next turn, they can't play any supporters. And then its second attack is Psychic Colorless, 120, discard an energy from your opponent's active. So its first attack is very unique. We have seen some of these attacks where it's like, oh, if you go second or if it's your first turn, you can attack. I mean, I guess you basically brick your opponent's turn 2. Against Charizard, you stop Arven. Against Chien-Pao, you stop Irida. I don't know, against like other future hands, like you stop Arven, I guess. So it's interesting. My concerns with the card are like you're putting a 2 prize liability into play that has 190 health, and its second attack is, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty useless. So I could see like maybe some like weird control deck or like I don't know, some deck that just like needs time to set up or something. Like maybe you combo this with like Airy or something like to stop your opponent from comboing stuff. But I don't know. What do you think of this one?
So my initial opinion is that I think this card is like statistically good. I mean, what it does is good. The HP is not good, but what it does, like on paper, is quite good. And I think you need to play it in a deck that has heavy switch counts because you're not going to start with it most of the time. But I think that kind of puts up a big barrier to it to begin with. And then secondly, I do agree with you that I think some sort of stall deck might find this useful. I think we've talked about this on pod before. I'm pretty sure this card has come up at some point when we were doing an episode of Matt or something, and I think we've talked about it. And we basically decided that like this card is probably not good. And I think I'm going to stay with that sentiment. I'm going to say it's a solid C tier for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna put like back half of C tier.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we have like I don't know if they're legendaries or not, but they were like from the DLC. They missed one of them on the tier list. So I'll talk about. It's called Monkey Dory.
What?
Yeah, its ability. It's a basic 110 HP. If this Pokemon has any dark energy attached to it, you may use this ability. Once during your turn, move up to 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon.
Okay.
It's kind of decent to me.
Could be all right. You need to have a dark energy attached, though, you said?
Yeah, so like you have to play. I mean, like there's not really a rainbow energy. There's like luminous energy, I guess. The effect's really cool. This is why I wanted to mention it, but I don't think it's that good.
Yeah, it's whatever.
I mean, like eventually, like you know what? Like there's some decks where it's like maybe if you like trade back and forth, like for example, like Charizard doesn't play Dark, but like if you hit each other back and forth, like that extra 30 could be the difference between taking a knockout or not. You heal a little bit. So if it was on this, I'd put this bottom of C tier, but just interesting card I wanted to call out.
The one thing I want to say too, and like this is totally off topic to what this is, but I'm still so disappointed about the whole Terra ability thing.
I know, it's the most wasted mechanic.
And the reason why that even came up in my head is because you're like, Charizard doesn't play Dark, and I'm like, well, it is a Dark type. Like, this is so stupid. At least, like, I don't know, like make something out of it. Like just stop blocking the bench. I can only think of a handful of times where I was playing where I was like, oh, I wish I could hit this Terra Pokemon on the bench, but I can't. Like it doesn't come up.
What other Terra Pokemon is meta besides Charizard?
Um, Espathra,
Oh,
I
Spothra,
suppose.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hoopa EX.
Yeah, but like also like Espathra, like isn't Espathra also? Oh no, it's a Psychic type. I was gonna say now it's a Grass type. But like, it's finding weird that some of these like Terrestrialized Pokemon they keep their type sometimes. So I'm like, what's the point of having like
Do
Terrestrialized?
they? I'm trying to even think about
Like
it. I
Arcanine
don't
has
think I've
its
seen one.
type. Like
Oh yeah, Arcanine and Gyarados both do.
Gyarados. I don't know. Like they're not good. Like Macargo on this list, but
Basically, the Pokemon Company is not a serious company.
yeah, exactly.
That's all I have to say. If any of their
Okay.
execs are listening, I'm sorry. I take it back. Please
Yeah.
sponsor us. Thanks.
All right. Next up, we have Pheasant Dippity. 120 HP basic. If any damage is done to this Pokemon by attacks, and this Pokemon has a Dark Energy, flip a coin. If heads, prevent that damage. Its attack does 1 Psychic, 30 damage times the amount of energy attached to it.
Bro, what the hell are these Pokemon?
Who knows? I mean, I don't think this
What
is.
is a Serendipity?
Yeah,
or
I don't
whatever
think
you
this
just
is
said?
good, to be honest.
Perfect. Let's move on.
Yeah. We don't need to spend that much time here. I'll put this next to. I'll put it between Goldeen and Swirlix. Okay, next up we have Greninja EX, one of the mascots for the set. 310 HP fighting type. Stage 2. First attack, Water, Ninja Blade, 170. Search your deck for any card, put it in your hand. Second attack, Watercolor's Colorless, do 120 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. Alright, now I'll let you give your thoughts first.
This card is good. This card is very, very good. People are talking about it as being like a replacement to Rapid Strike. I don't think it's the same thing. I think it's actually quite different. I think there's a lot more merit in that first attack than what people think. There's a lot of cards that you would want in your hand early game that you normally can't search out, and I think having that little like pseudo Starbirth kind of ability is good. I mean, I know it's in format, so it's kind of whatever. But you're doing 170 while you're doing it, and while you're doing 170, you can also do 340 in the next turn. Or sorry, like you're adding up to 340. So you're two shotting just about anything. Not a lot of healing, and your second attack has the ability to pop off at any point in time. You also have fighting typing, which is pretty good into this meta, especially if like things like Luxray get good. If Arc continues being all right, I believe Iron Thorns is also weak to fighting. Iron Hands, it's a lot of targets. So I do think this card is really good. As far as like how meta defining it is, I'm not too sure. There's obviously a very expensive attack cost associated with the second attack. I saw a build with Palkia being played, and that seems pretty cool, but I'm not too sure how people are going to go about running this, but I do think it is a very good card.
I don't know, I feel like I might be going against the grain, and most people like I actually don't think this card's that good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like it doesn't feel that OP to me, and I feel like for a deck to work, like the cards kind of have to feel like do something broken. Like its attack just feels very fair. I will say the snipe is good. Like you have to play canceling clone, but like doing 120 twice is kind of nice. Like it's a 2-prizer. So like my concerns for this card is like one, it's like the second attack. It's like you don't play. What energy acceleration am I playing? It's 3 energies, and like
True.
it's not like Rapid Strike where you had like Melanie and the special energy that counts for 2. Rapid Strike, and it's like yeah, it's like what am I pairing this with? Because like just doing 170, like you said, it adds up, but it's like it's not that good. Like am I like Turo in this every turn to cycle? Like which I guess you could. If, I feel like you need to have a Drongin with it. I don't know. It's just I feel like it's too fair. Like it's not doing anything broke. Like it doesn't have late game one shot potential. Like I don't know what the strategy is. Like the searching your deck for any card is good, but like normally like I don't know that goes in more of like a control-y like mid rangey strategy, which this
Sure.
I guess kind of has to be. I'm just like not sure how this deck like takes enough prize cards, and like powers itself up to like really abuse that second attack. Like, am I playing Baxcalibur
Like-
with this? Like, what am I playing? It's a stage 2, too. That's the problem.
So what I'm thinking, like when Rapid Strike came out, people were kind of on a similar boat where it felt a little underpowered. 120, 120 back then was obviously different to 120, 120 now. But when it, like initially, and like I don't mean like when the set came out, Rapid Strike was actually very good, and people realized very fast it was very good. But I remember the initial like reaction, so like similar situation to what we were in, was generally like, oh, okay, this card's kind of whatever, because it seemed a little underpowered. It seemed like 120, 120 wasn't enough, and we learned pretty fast that it was. I think cards like this, where you're like, okay, you've no late game one-shot potential, how are you prize trading effectively in a way that favors you? I think that snipe ability just kind of offsets all of that. And I I know Manaphy's a card. I know Canceling Clone's hard to pull off. All very relevant things. But I think being a water type, you have a lot of access to. Well, I mean, I guess you're a fighting type, but you're using water energies. You have a lot of access to different mechanics. So you play really well into Irida. You play really well into Palkia V-Star. Obviously, like you said, you have Bax, you have Chen Pao. You have things like tools around you that can make you okay. Whereas if this was like, I don't know, a steel type, I'd be a little bit more wary. Like, you just don't have support.
Yeah, but like if I'm playing a Baxcalibur deck, why would I not just play a Chien-Pao build?
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Like,
I agree with you. But you're already playing Rare Candy. Like, maybe there's a world
bro.
where, I don't know.
Like, dude, that deck's so tight on space. It's like, what does this add to my deck? It's like, I can already Greninja for 90 twice. Like, that seems like good enough in most matchups. Like, rating
You add a
Greninja, not
big
Greninja EX.
HP Pokemon is what I think you add.
Honestly, bro, like, HP in Pokemon is fake nowadays. Like, everything does so much damage.
The only thing I can think of is like, you know, the turn after you take your first two prizes against
Yes.
Zard and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
my entire deck dies. Like, that's all I can think of.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally don't think this is very good. But maybe I'll be proven wrong. So, and where should we put this on the list?
Dude, I like it more than you. I want to say A tier, but if you say something different, it's all good.
Okay, I was gonna say C tier, so let's put it in B tier.
Yo, C tier is crazy. All right. Let's do B tier. Yo, in the comments, what do you guys think? Whose side are you on? Bucket Hat Boy or DeMar DeRozan? What do you got? You let us know.
Okay, I think we should speed through the cards that are bad. If we keep going.
Please, God, yes.
Okay, so the next one is Okidogi, 130 HP. If it has a dark energy, it
There's
gets
no way that's a real
100
Pokemon.
It gets,
No,
100,
no,
it gets
no.
100 more health and heal. Its attacks do 100 more damage. Its attack is fighting for 70. So you need dark
Bro.
fighting to do 170.
What is that, man?
He can go in D tier with his other. I forgot what the last one was called.
Okidogi. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
What have we done? What is this game?
I don't know. I think it's kind of.
It's time to stop making Pokemon.
I kind of like the design, bro. He's like kind of cool.
It looks like Zarude, man.
Zarude Sandstorm.
Zarude Sandstorm. Yeah. You know Zarude? I don't know. I actually wouldn't blame you if you didn't know Zarude.
I do
It's
know what
that,
Zarude is.
like-
It's a bad.
yeah.
I don't like that one.
It looks like that, and like if that and Grimmsnarl like
Mm-hmm.
impregnated each other repeatedly, they'd create this.
Yeah. Well.
Like
and-
just one random offspring.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, next Pokemon. This one's actually good, I think. We have the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon EX, so the Fighting type one. Its ability: prevent all damage from attacks done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon that have an ability. And its attack is just fighting colors, 140. It's not affected by weakness, resistance, or by any effect, so it's Shred. That ability is actually really good. It blocks a lot of meta relevant. It blocks like Charizard EX, Radiant Charizard, Chen-Pao, Lugia V-Star, I guess. Trying to think what else is good. Those are pretty good, like in the meta right now.
Yeah.
So to me, this is pretty good. Like I was actually thinking about this. Like Chen-Pao doesn't have a good attacker into this. Like what am I attacking this with?
Yeah, I actually don't know what you're doing
You,
about this.
you attack with Frigibax, I guess. I don't know.
It's middle back season, baby.
Middle back season.
backs. Let's go.
So yeah, this actually seems pretty good to me. I don't think it'll be a cornerstone of a deck, but like it definitely seems like a really good tech card. And its attack
I
is
like how you
one.
use the word cornerstone.
Why?
Clever.
Oh, that's the name of the
Cornerstone
map.
of the
Damn
map.
it, bro! I should just play it into it. That's what I was trying to do.
Amateur.
I'm an amateur, but I don't know. It'll be a tech, so.
I don't know. Like my thoughts to this is it seems like it's like it reminds me a lot of Keldeo GX when this card when that card came out, when it was like it has a really good wall ability but it's kind of underpowered. The difference was Keldeo GX had a partner in ADP that absolutely broke the format, whereas this does not. So I actually don't think as highly about this. I think this has the potential to be good in like a control-y build or something. Like I don't think you're taking 6 prizes with this very often. In a meta full of Chen-Pao, maybe, sure. Hey, you know what? Maybe this is a reason to play Greninja EX and Chen-Pao.
Yeah.
Like there are, I think, interactions that you don't see yet. Like as obviously this doesn't exist, right? Like this format doesn't exist yet. So like at least here, so we don't see a lot of this. But I think a lot of the time when people are rating cards that are just coming out, there are interactions like within the set that affect how each individual card's gonna go. And I think this one's a good example of that. I think we look back on this in 2-3 weeks or whenever the set comes out, and we think about this a little bit differently than we do now.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think cards like this historically always find some play, like as like a tech or something. It needs only one fighting, so like I feel like it's easy to play. So, I think high B tier makes sense for this card. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
All right, high B tier.
I like the fact that Mist Energy's in the format. I think it gives this card a lot of usage as well.
That's true. You can't go
Yeah.
around
Although, I mean, like Roaring Moon and Tina are the two cards that
Actually,
are
yeah.
one-shotting it. Yeah. So I
Actually,
guess
there's
not.
nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, next we can talk about them together. We have Dragapult and Dragapult
Yes.
EX. Or sorry, Dragcloak and then Dragapult EX. So Dragcloak just has airmail. So once during your turn, look at the top two, one to the hand, one to the bottom. Then Dragapult, its first attack is literally just colors for 70. Kind of sucks. Second attack is Fire Psychic 200. Put 6 damage counters on your opponent's bench in any way you like. That's pretty good to me. Its energy cost is a little awkward. Fire Psychic, like you might actually have to play that like A-Spec, the Neo upper energy.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, like I think the Drag Cloak, like without it, like this deck isn't as good. But any deck that gets access to like that type of ability is like it's a huge boon. I mean, we saw Gardevoir when it had Refinement. It still has Refinement Curlia. Like how much that helps decks. So I think this is pretty good. 320 HP. It has no weakness, which I think is really good. It has 1 retreat, so you can go between them. I just think you need to find a way to accelerate energies a little bit, which I don't know what that is right now, but my initial impression is like it's decent. Like,
So, I mean, what I'll say is this: I think in a format without Jirachi, this is like broken. I think what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to kind of pivot off these 60 HP basics. So like those 3 heat tacklers you're seeing right now, like if this becomes good, that obviously changes. Bidoof has a way around it. It has a 70 HP variant that doesn't block bench, but like I think how good this is actually one of those like situations where it depends on how good or like how wide its meta share is. Like if it has a really wide meta share, people start playing Jirachi, people start switching off their 60s to 70s. I think this card gets a lot worse. But as it currently stands, like if it popped in the format right now, it would be feasting. Like you can effectively take 4 prizes in 2 turns most of the time, because you're 2-shotting inactive and you're killing 2 on the bench or 1 on the bench, right? Like you can expect you to take about 4 prizes per 2 turns, which is really, really good. So I think this card's good. Airmail has also historically been really, really good. I think it's no different now. The one difference I would say now versus then is that this actually has an evolution that's very, very good. It's not like Pidgeotto, where Pidgeot was useless.
I mean, I think Drag Cloak like might see play like even in not Dragapult decks. Like we've seen a lot of people play control decks with Curlia. I think this might be better. You don't have to discard cards you can keep. So I think Drag Cloak for sure is A tier. Dragapult, I don't know, it's high B or low A. What do you think?
I like low A.
All right, it's going low A, but I'm putting Drag Cloak ahead of it. Drag Cloak, I'm putting you high
A. 320 is also a really good number.
It is a good number.
Health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think next up, this is a contender for our first contender for S tier, I think. Tatsugiri, 70 health. So you can get it from Buddy Poffin. It's an ability, attract customers. Once during your turn, if it's in the active spot, you may look at the top 6 cards of your deck, reveal a supporter you find there, put it into your hand. This just seems like broken to me. Like, there's so many decks that want this. It protects against Iono really well. It protects against Roxanne. It has 1 retreat, so you can put the board card on Rescue board on it. It's good in the early game. It's good in the mid game. Whenever a Pokemon gets knocked out, you put this thing up. I don't know. Do you agree with me? Like, does this card just seem insane?
Yeah. Attract customers is a joke's name too. I really hope that translates to English the same way. I give extra merit to the fact that this card is look at the top 6. I felt like it was going to be a top 5 like Stellar Wish, so top 6 is really good.
Yep.
Reveal supporter card. You're basically just weaker Pokegear on an ability with Rescue Board that's a free pivot whenever you want it to be. So that seems really good to me. In this format, the only thing that sketches me out is the fact you have 70 health your basic, so you almost like if there's another basic down with low HP, you're almost forcing Manaphy to be down as well at the same time, which is kind of a little bit sketch. But the card seems good, man. I really like it. I think this is... I'm cool with S tier on this one.
Yeah, I think, like, it takes up a bench spot. That's the one bad thing. But, like, honestly, like, this might have equivalent power late game to a Bibarel almost. Like, just fishing out, like, a boss, fishing out a supporter. So, yeah, I think it's S tier to me. I actually think, like, we have more cards to review, but, like, I think this is the best card in the set. There's an item card that or an A-Spec I think can battle with it, but to me it's pretty good. Okay, next we have Blissey EX, Stage 1, 300 HP. Its ability, Happy Switch. Once during your turn, you may move a basic energy from one of your Pokemon to another. Its attack is triple colorless, 180. Draw until you have 6 in your hand. So, Anil, why don't you lead off on your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's just a big tank. That's all it really is. I think it's decent. I don't think it's anything like groundbreaking. To me, it's probably like a someone will find somebody to use this install or something. I'm sure. So it's a B tier for me.
I actually think this card's pretty good. If you get like triple Blissey into play, you can just like constantly cycle the energies, and like it can play Charon's Care, which the other decks can't play. If you want to conserve energy, its attack is actually good. Like you're always recycling, so you can play disruption cards with the deck, and then just keep going over and over. You can play like the Hero Cape, you can play like all that stuff. So I don't know. It actually seems kind of good to me. Like its weakness isn't that popular. Like there's not that many fighting type Pokemon to see play right now. I mean, Greninja might see play. If that sees play, then this isn't good. But I actually really like this card, and it has an ability that's very similar to Shift Gear. So, I mean, I'm always going to be partial. I don't know, I actually think Blissey's pretty good. I would not be surprised if this is like a tier 2 deck, or maybe even tier 1 eventually.
My concern with this is the 4 retreat. I don't like that, and I think there's a lot of like I know you can move energies around as freely as you want, but that initial 3 energies that you're getting down, I think is going to be a little bit difficult. You're going to have to rely on DTE a little bit, which means you're not moving basic energies freely because you have a DTE. So that's my initial concern with it. The other thing is when you Sharons, and like I was talking to someone at a League Cup yesterday about like Arc Intel, and like how the Arc Intel mirror basically came down to like when you Sharon, did your opponent have boss KO on your Arc V after? And I actually think this could be something similar, where like if people start picking off Chansey's, I don't know what Chansey's stats are.
It has 100 HP.
120.
No, I think there's one that its abilities, like if you take it as a prize, you put on your bench and flip a coin to take another one.
Okay, so you're playing that one for sure?
I think you play that one. The upside's like way too high not to play it.
Yeah, so it's 100 health, so it can't get picked off by Greninja or Radiant Greninja. It can get picked off by the other one, but if you lose to other one anyways. Yeah, I think it's okay. It could be good. I think I agree with you, like low tier 2.
Yeah, I think B tier is right for this card.
Yeah, let's start tearing through these. We have so many to go through still.
Yeah. Okay, next one's actually good. Blood Moon Ursaluna. It's Radiant Charizard and EX pretty much. 260 on a basic. Its ability for each prize card your opponent's taken, its attack costs colorless less. It's 5 colorless for 240. So this one can actually attack for free when your opponent's at 1 prize. It seems good, like late game. Like it has a lot of health. You can combo with Roxanne. I don't know. Any deck that needs like a big beat stick, like this seems good in Lost Box decks to me. I don't know. What are you thinking, Neil?
This is good. This is good. It's a great card. Very splashable. Colorless typing. Obviously, you have a lot of you're not taking any sort of energy. I do think that it being an EX is a little bit trivial.
Yep.
I think that's obviously Radiant Charizard's strength right now, and I think there's a lot of EXs that attack for efficient cost, so maybe it might not see the most play out of the gate. Might be one of those cards that we look at in like a year and be like, okay, this is pretty good now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best use case is when your opponent's at like 1 prize, because then it's like you don't really care if they knock it at 1 prize. It has a like non-trivial amount of health. Like if you play maybe like a Bravery Charm with it late game, I don't know, I think it's pretty good. It's splashable, so I'm thinking like high B, low A. I'm probably leaning low A tier.
I like A.
Yeah, I think A tier. I'm gonna put it with Iron Thorns. Okay, we're moving on to trainer cards now. First one, we have the Bug Catcher set. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 2 in any combination of grass Pokemon and basic grass, and put them into your hand. This seems very good for grass decks. It's like Great Ball with the ability to get energy. This actually might make Torterra slightly better. One of my favorite decks.
I was gonna say bring up Thwackey to the next tier.
Bring up Thwackey to the next tier. Thwackey with Torterra.
I was looking at Torterra EX. I wanted to play it for Indy because I'm like, I don't know, I want to play something fun. And then I realized Turtwig 80 health, so you really can't play the deck. So I don't know. This seems good. I mean, like, I'm sure in a world with Torterras, this is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to put this card, I think, in B tier because it's just grass Pokemon, but in grass decks, this card is very good. So, what do you think?
Certainly. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, the next one, I think this is a girl from the DLC. Her name's Carmine. So if you go first, you can play this card during your first turn. Discard your hand, draw 5. So it's basically like a nerfed research, but you can play it on your first turn. What this kind of reminds me of is Lily, Lily's a better card than this. Lily was like, if you use your first turn, draw to 8. I could see maybe 1 copy in decks that have a way to search it out, but like, how are you searching this out? Like Luminion, I guess, and then like drawing 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I think this is garbage.
Yeah, because I'm basically thinking, like, if you want to search this out turn 1, like you do have to use Luminion. Where it's like, why would I not just play Squawkabilly at that point? So I can use that going second. So I don't think this card's I don't think this card's very good. I don't know. Is it D tier or is it C tier?
To me, this is D tier.
This is
Like,
high
I
D
can't
tier.
think of yeah, I can't think of a single situation where this is good.
I agree with you. Okay, next up we have Enhanced Hammer. It's a reprint. I think we know this card has been historically very good in the past. But how good this card is just depends on how much special energy are in the meta. And to be honest, right now, there's not that much special energy in the meta. There's Mist Energy, I think, is the most popular one. Lugia is obviously a deck that plays a lot of special energy, but like they can just keep replenishing it very easily. So initially when I saw this revealed, I was like, oh, this is going to be a great card. But when I gave it more thought, like I actually don't know how many use cases there are in the current format for this. What do you think?
I think when you think of Enhanced Hammer in the past, has been formats with heavy DCE.
Yeah.
That was like the most reasonable application. DT obviously is relevant. You're getting rid of like, I mean, if Arc is still around, you're getting rid of turn 1 Arc attach.
That
I
is
guess
true.
if it's a DT. You can also bump Mist Energy in decks that you need to play around Mist Energy, so it might be alright as a one of it like Moon or Tina or something.
And we're going to talk about the
but
Ace
you
Pack
also just have
energy
Sinnoh.
from this set too. So yeah, you have Sinnoh,
Yeah.
like you're saying. But it's an item which is searchable with Irida, I guess, which might make it better.
The other thing is too, and we brought this up earlier, if Dragon Ball gets big and you Enhanced Hammer the Neo Upper and kill the other one with another energy, that could be pretty good.
Yeah. I think my problem with Enhanced Hammer is it's more of like a niche card that kind of how Sinnoh is now. It's like you need it the turn you need it, and you're just trying to remove stuff for a KO. So I'm going to put it, like, in my opinion, high C, low B again.
I'm okay with B.
Yeah,
I think
B.
it's one of those, like, it has the potential to swing a game at any point.
Yeah.
It's just, you need it at that right time.
It's like a tech card, which I think is fun.
Yeah.
All right, the next card, it's basically like tailor-made for Snorlax. A Fable Flute. Look at the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck. If there's put any number of basic Pokemon you find there onto their bench. This card seems really good to me. Like, I don't think Snorlax needs this. I mean, like, if you play 4 copies of these, you play Erica's Invitation, like, it's almost impossible to play around, like, your Pokemon getting on the bench. Like, the only place they're safe is, like, the discard, I guess. But then your opponent just plays Mantine. So I guess you have to put them in the Lost Zone, so. This card just seems really good in control to me.
Yeah, seems good. I think it balances out Greninja existing, because Greninja existing is not good for stall as a whole.
No.
That 1 energy attack, and you can also snipe too. And they're all weak to your fighting typing, so I think it kind of balances out Greninja a little bit. I agree with you. I don't think stall needed this, but I'm always going to say that because I just don't like stall. So
Yeah.
good card. We'll see how much it actually impacts things.
Is it A tier? I think it might be A tier.
I think it's A tier.
And
The
that's
card effect itself is A tier.
it's like so crazy. Okay, the next card is the Festival Grounds. We've alluded to it. You have to have this in play to use the abilities that let you attack twice. Each Pokemon that has energy attached can't be affected by special conditions. Remove any special conditions. I mean, like, special conditions like have not been relevant for a long time.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem very good. The only reason you play this is to activate the abilities.
If they could print a blank stadium card that said nothing, they probably would have. Like, that's the equivalent of this.
So I'm putting the C tier, like bottom of C tier, just because it interacts with the other cards.
Yeah.
Cool. Next one, Handy Circulator. It's a tool card. If the Pokemon this card's attached to is your active and is damaged by an opponent's attack, move an energy to the attacking Pokemon to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. This seems pretty bad to me.
Yeah.
Because normally
I
when
think
you
this is really
attack, like, you want the energy to stay there so you can knock them out back. This is obviously for control strategies, but control strategies normally like to just play, like, Hero's Cape or, like, Bravery Charm or something. So, I mean, I guess, like, against some decks, like, you could maybe get all their energy stuck on, like, a bad Pokemon that knock it out eventually, or if they have a support Pokemon, just make it sit there. So, but I don't think it's that good. I'm putting it bottom of C tier. What do you think?
I'd actually say B tier.
B
I actually
tier?
think this has some application.
I mean,
yeah.
that's where we put
I
Enhanced
think-
Hammer and the Bug Catcher thing.
Yeah, I actually think this in a weird world is actually decent. Just from thinking about it for the last like 10 seconds.
Okay.
I don't know. I see a world where like so if you're playing against stall, your Lost Vacuums are targeting capes, they're targeting charms, they're targeting whatever it may be, like Pokemon League headquarters. You don't have the ability to really target this. And I think sometimes like you get in a situation where like maybe Zard plays this in Mirror or something, and you just like try and divert all the energies to bad places. How much does that really do? I'm not too sure. Probably not a whole lot, because if you knock them out, they can just retreat it back off.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that because I think there's some applications that we maybe haven't thought of. That's why I would put it in B tier, because I think it has
Yeah.
a potential to be okay.
I don't know. How about we put a high C tier then?
Sure, deal.
Yeah, okay. Because I think the opportunity cost of playing different tools is just a little high. Okay, next up we have Hassel. I think he's an Elite Four guy in the game. Or he might be one of the teachers, I can't remember.
Hassle.
Look at the top.
Oh, I think this is a DLC dude.
Okay, he's a DLC dude, okay.
Yeah.
Look at it's a supporter, so you can only play it if one of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Look at the top 8 cards of your deck, put 3 of them into your hand. I mean, like, it's actually, my first impression, like, it's not bad. Like, in something like Control, maybe, where you want to keep digging for, like, pieces every turn to keep doing combos. I think one prize decks, like, could play this, like, if you need to keep refreshing, like, because you're going to get knocked out a lot, so you have lots of opportunity to use it. It's very niche. Like, most decks probably don't want to play this, but it seems decent enough to me. What about you?
I agree. I think the one prize decks that want to play this though both have better options. So Ancient Box has Explorer's Guidance and Lost Box has Chorus, and I think those cards are just simply better for what they're trying to achieve. So I think it's kind of like a niche supporter. It might see play eventually. I got a C tier on this one.
Yeah, I agree. Middle C tier. Here you can go next to the Wellspring Mask. Okay, the next card is an A-Spec, the Hyper Aroma. Search your deck for 3 Stage 1 Pokemon. All right, Neil, you start on this one.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this one. I actually don't know. It seems okay, but the problem is it's an A-Spec.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to feel about this. Maybe in a format like where Donphan Dragon's Yanmega Lantern Jank was a deck, maybe it'd be pretty good. Right now, I'm just not sure what stage ones you're really trying to nitpick here.
Yeah, I guess like the main one people are saying was Kirlia, but it's like you said, like whenever we discuss an A-Spec, like you have to like realize the opportunity cost of playing another A-Spec, because the A-Specs are like broken cards is like extremely high. So if I play some Gardevoir deck, I'm not playing Hero's Cape. Which is very good because it lets Scream Tail or Drifloon one-shot anything. So I'm sure like eventually there might be, like you're saying, like a deck that uses like a bunch of different stage ones and like just wants to like accelerate them all into play. But like you also have TM Evo, which kind of does similar stuff. So I personally just think this isn't that good because it's an A-Spec. Like I think it's a C tier card, but like it could see eventually play maybe. What do you think?
I think C tier because it's an A-Spec. Because
Yeah.
the other application I have for it is Dracloak, and that needs Neo Upper most likely, so that's off the table.
Okay, the next card is the Jamming Tower. It's a stadium. Pokemon tool cards in play have no effect. We've seen this before on a stadium called Lysander Labs. I think it's pretty good. Against Ancient Box, for example, you just shut off the Ancient Booster against Future. And like you honestly force your opponent to like have I think it's better than Vacuum if you're just trying to like counter like other people's tools, because this could stay in play. Like you force your opponent to find a stadium, like against like Future Box, for example. Like they don't even play stadiums, so it's like you're shutting off all their like ancient or future booster capsules. So I think this is like a nice tech card that I think will see play in some decks.
Yeah, I think anything on a stadium has more value than anything on an item, in my opinion, just because you're acting as a stadium bump as well. Like you think of like cards like you said, like Lysander Labs was played in a format with it had Tool Jammer for a bit too, right? So in that sense, like it's just better as a stadium because you just leave it there and it's whatever. It's a stadium up as well. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of stadiums right now that are particularly pesky. Not a whole lot that you want to bump out of the way besides like your opponent's Pokestops and stuff. So, I mean, it's aight.
Yeah,
it's aight.
I think it's B tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, very solid card. Okay, next Neil, we have Kieran. So
this is your moment.
my moment, bro. From my understanding, he's the bad guy actually in the DLC.
Stays true to real life.
But maybe people will have an easier time. Actually, no, they're not going to have an easy time pronouncing my name.
I hope this card is jank so badly, man.
It's kind of jank, bro. So it's a choose one effect, which I actually like on supporters. So its first attack is just switch your active on your bench. Its second effect is your attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active EX or V, not rule box, EX or V.
Nice.
So I'm sure whenever the next games come out, we get a new mechanic. This card is gonna be worse, but I mean, like, I'm sure there's some math where, like, 30 more. I could see Charizard actually playing this because you have Pidgeot, so you can get it when you need it. So that kind of swings it. Other decks, I can't really see it playing as much. I mean, the switch effect is, like, niche useful, but the main reason to play this is to do 30 more.
Sorry, bro. You're kind of jank.
I know. I think I'm a C tier card, bro.
Yeah, you're C tier. Sorry, bro.
Yeah. Tough.
Super jank.
Okay, next up we have Lana's Care. This is nerfed Clara. Put up to 3 in any combination of Pokemon that don't have a rule box and basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand.
Yeah, you lost me.
What?
Can't recycle Radiance?
Oh.
You lost me. Gone. It's over.
I
C
think,
tier.
yeah, this is a C tier as well.
Vanish to the underworld.
Might see play, not that good. Next one is Lucky Helmet. This is another reprint. It's a tool. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, draw 2 cards. I think in decks that play Town Store, I could maybe see it late game. Like, you put this in your guy, so if you get Roxanne or like Iono, you draw an extra 2 when they get knocked out. It's weak to Vacuum and to the Tool Jam or the Jamming Stadium. I don't know. What do you think, Neil? Could this ever see play?
Seems pretty. I don't know if it's much more than pretty. It's just kind of one of those like good cards that could be good in the right situation. But like, yeah, it wasn't too good when it was out, and I don't think it's going to be too good now.
Yeah.
I mean, we just talked about a card, Jamming Ground, Jamming Tower, whatever, that literally shuts us off. So
Yeah, another C tier.
yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
All right, next up we have Lucian. Lucian's Assignment is one of my favorite supporters of all time. I think it's super
Yeah,
cool.
great card.
But Lucian has an interesting effect. So each player shuffles their hand and puts it on the bottom of their deck. If either player put cards that way, they flip a coin. If heads, draw 6. If tails, draw 3. So this reminds me of Galactic's Wager, but you played rock, paper, scissors to determine. So I mean, the idea behind this is like you can disrupt your opponent early if you get lucky, but you can also disrupt yourself. I just feel like Judge is just way better than this card. I'd rather just consistently give my opponent 4.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like Judge as a card, to be honest with you. Like, we took a lot of slack last weekend for not playing more than one Judge in our arc list. The other list played like 4 or whatever. I just don't like the card because I feel like 4 cards when you're at an opportunity to disrupt is also disruptive to you. A lot of the times you'll never draw out of your own Judge, or you'll never draw out of your own Lucian, and I think the risk that comes with that does not outweigh the reward of maybe flipping a heads on your opponent's side and then breaking out and you not, right? Like,
Yeah.
and so I think in a format with Iono, this doesn't really have a great place, but that's just
Yeah, I mean, like, the expected value of this is your opponent draws 4.5 cards. So if you're trying to disrupt, like, Judge is just better. So I actually think Neil is a D tier.
me. I'm down.
All right, D tier, there you go. All
I
right,
hate the card, so I'm
next
down.
up, we have one of the gimmick cards of the set, the Ogre's Mask. So choose a Pokemon EX in your discard that has Ogre Pawn in its name, and switch it with one of your Pokemon EX in play that has Ogre Pawn in its name. Any attached cards, damage counters, special conditions all stay on the new Pokemon. So obviously the idea with this is like you're supposed to rotate through the Ogre Pawns. My problem is like the Ogre Pawns though, like they all have like pretty intensive energy requirements, and they all do very different things, and like they don't even one-shot things with weakness. Like you have to play super effective glasses. So I actually don't think the Ogre Pawns synergize that well with each other. What do you think?
I think I agree with you. They all have like, if I remember correctly, I think they all have one. Oh, so 2 of them have a 1 colored energy
Yeah.
cost. The other 2 have a 3 colored
Yeah.
energy cost. Yeah, I don't think these synergize very well at all.
Yeah.
I think there's a situation where maybe you get a card like Infernape that you play both in the deck or something,
Yeah,
and you
you
can
can switch them.
pivot from the fighting to the fire. Other than that, I don't think this card is too great. I do think it's a cool idea, but
Yeah, like in a vacuum, this card is like it could be S tier or like D tier, depending on how good the Ogre Pawns are. So I think we can put it in C tier just because the mechanic's cool and like it has niche utility. If they ever print more Ogre Pawns, it could get better. But I think for
Yeah, I
now,
think
with the
C is
way
safe.
they work, it's not there. Okay, next up we have Perrin. I don't even know what character she's in the game. I don't remember her. So it's reveal up to 2 Pokemon from your hand and put them into your deck. If you do, search your deck for that many Pokemon. So it's basically double Pokemon communication on a supporter. Seems bad to me. I have to already have Pokemon that I don't want to put into play, which I normally do, just to get more Pokemon. So net, I'm losing 1 card from my hand. Because I'm playing burning this, getting 2. I don't know, it just seems super weak as an effect to me. Like, why don't they just reprint communication if they want something like this?
yeah, I don't think this is good either. Like the only thing I can think of playing this in is like Gardevoir or something, but you want the fodder
Yeah.
at that point to discard. So like you're losing a card. It's not really helping you.
There's just so many better supporters. Like, so I honestly think this
Yeah, I
might
don't think
be.
this
Is
is
this D tier or is this low C?
This is low C. Like you
C.
have a chance of like maybe
Alright.
making this good one day.
All right, we'll put a low C. Okay. Next up, we have Scoop Up Cyclone. It's a reprint. So this is an A spec. So literally just put one of your Pokemon, all cards attached to it, into your hand. So Scoop Up Cyclone, last time it existed, it saw niche play, but it was just outclassed by the other A specs. And I kind of feel like it's in a similar spot now. Like this is obviously an insane effect, but is it as insane as like Prime Catcher? Is it as insane as like the 2 A specs we're about to talk about, the Reset Stamp and then other energy? The answer to me is probably no, but it's still like a very good effect.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to find its place. I think what we've seen from some of these ace packs is they all kind of find their place, or don't. There's a couple that just have never been played, but I do think this is one that has the potential to be good somewhere. It has a very unique effect that isn't really seen anymore, and it kind of provides quantity to how good Scoop Up Net was. Like, that's how good it was that it needed to be reprinted on an ace pack. Obviously, Scoop Up Net did not incorporate Roblox Pokemon, but you get the idea. Like, this is that's how Super Scoop Up was supposed to be. Like, that was kind of the dynamic of it, and Scoop Up Net broke all of that. So
Yeah.
I think this finds its place somewhere, but
Yeah,
maybe not now.
I'm gonna put it in B tier. I think it's solid, but
Yeah.
obviously, like other ace specs are probably better. Okay, next up is a card. I think people were going crazy when this got revealed. I was a little surprised. It's the because its effect is kind of interesting. It's the secret box ace spec. You can only use it to discard 3 cards from your hand. You search your deck for an item, a Pokemon, a tool, a supporter, and a stadium. So it really is like a toolbox card, and then you put them into your hand. So Neil, what do you think about this card?
I think the people were salivating over the discard 3 thing. I can't even think of a situation where you want to discard 3. Like, it's always discard 2.
Archeops,
That's what you want.
Like, I don't know. But you're right.
Yeah, but you just want to discard 2 Archeops, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's irrelevant. I think that makes people like it a little bit more. I think the card is cool, but I don't think it's like you said, you like to say this a lot, and I agree with you. The opportunity cost is not worth it.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many better cards I think that you can be playing.
I mean, I actually think this card's horrible. One, because like yes, like it's an ace spec. 2, it's just like, so if you want to discard stuff, like people are like, oh, this is so crazy in Lugia. I'm like, well, like how am I finding this card? I play 1 copy. If I'm using a supporter to find it, like let's just say Irida, for example, or Cypher Maniacs, well then I can't really use the effect of like getting a supporter and play it right away. Also, like how many times do I need a tool and a stadium and a Pokemon like all together? Like, not that often. So like I feel like this card is really good if you draw it turn 1 or maybe turn 2, but even then discarding 3 cards is a lot for a lot of decks that don't want to discard cards. So I don't know. I just don't think this card is good, especially when you compare it to like all the other ace specs that you could be playing. So
Well, yeah, like I think the reason why like cards like Dowsing Machine in the past are really good is because like there was only like 7 ace specs. We already have like 10 or 12. Like,
yeah,
we don't need
they
this.
print so many ace specs, and I think they're gonna keep doing it, which is like I personally don't like ace specs. I think they're too broken, but like they have given us like really good variety. So
So I don't know.
I
whatever.
I think this is a D tier ace spec to be honest, but I don't know. What do you think?
I got C. I've got C.
C. All right, you guys can bookmark this. My take. I think it's D tier. Okay, next up, Anil, I think this is another contender for best ace spec. The Unfair Stamp. You can play this card only if one of your opponent's Pokemon. If your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn, each player shuffles their hand to their deck. You draw 5, they draw 2. It's basically Roxanne as an item that you can play as early as like turn 2. This is insane to me. I think it warps how you have to like play. Like it's not really safe to take a knockout if you don't have something like Bibarel set up. It's an item, so your opponent can combo it with like boss. They could like boss your Bibarel or something and knock it out. They could play Airy after this stamp. Like this card seems like a little toxic to me. I'm a little worried for this card, to be honest, to become legal. It seems really annoying to play against. Like even if it's not that good.
Well, I'm glad you touched on the whole fact this is an item thing, because I think that's what does it for me. Like, if this was a supporter, you don't care, but the fact you can like kill a Beeb and do this in the same turn is like absolutely bonkers. You're putting your opponent in top deck mode. You can kill a Beeb, reset or unfair stamp them, and then Luxray pick out of their hand. Like, I think it's absolutely disgusting. So, I put S tier for this. And
I agree.
Really hope it's not S tier, but I think it is S tier.
Yeah, it just seems too good. Like Control is gonna love this card. Even like Charizard probably loves this card. Like just this card is just insane to me. You definitely like need an answer to it, and it's like you sometimes like you might be like, oh, I can't even afford to take a knockout right now because I'm so scared of the stamp, which is just crazy to me. Like if decks start playing this that don't even play like Pidgeot EX or something, it's like if someone just like raw has stamp in their hand, you're like, okay, well I guess I just lose. That feels bad. So
That's a good card.
All right, next up we have the Survival Brace. It's a tool. If your Pokemon's at full health and would be knocked out by damage, its HP becomes 10 instead, and you discard this. So it's basically, we used to have a tool card called Focus Sash that did this for fighting Pokemon. That was pretty good. This is any Pokemon. My concerns with this card are we are getting like the tool gem, or whatever it's called, the tower card that shuts off tools. We do have Vacuum.
Yeah.
The effect is cool. Like, if you ever pull it off, you actually probably just win the prize trade in most of your games. But again, like you got to play this up under A spec, and it's very easy to counter. So what do you think, Neil? Is this?
I think I
That's
agree with
good.
you. I think it has the opportunity. It's like enhanced hammer. It's like huge swing, right?
Yeah.
If it gets pulled off, but there's a good chance it does nothing. So, I would go with the B tier just because of the opportunity of how good it could be. But
Okay.
you just don't know, right?
Yeah, I think low B makes sense to me. Okay, next up we have two left. We have Boomerang Energy. It's a special energy that is colorless. If it's discarded by the effect of an attack used by the Pokemon, attach this card from your discard pile to the Pokemon after attacking. So basically, if you use this with stuff that discards energy, you just get it back. I'm pretty sure we've had a card that had this effect before.
Recycle energy.
No, recycle energy was when it went to the discard to go to your hand. I think we had a fire energy that its effect. It was a fire energy, I think, where its effect was if you discarded.
Oh, was it burning energy?
Yeah, I think it was burning energy.
Yeah.
That one didn't see much play, but that might just be. I mean, it's just, this card is just based on like what Pokemon you can use it with.
Radiant Greninja. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they made it for Radiant Greninja, but it's like then I also have to find a way to get 2 more energy on it.
Well, no, you just attach the next turn, right? Because you can just reattach it, and then you just attach water, and you do it again.
Yeah, but it takes 3 energy, so you have to find a way to get 2 more.
No, but it doesn't it. Wait, sorry. So the card reads when you discard it with an attack.
Yeah, you put it back.
And does Greninja say discard 2 energy or discard 2 water?
I think it's discard 2 energy.
If it's just 2 energy, then you just bounce it, come back.
No, I
and
get it, but I'm
just
saying
attach
the
water.
the initial attack, you still have to find a way to
Oh,
power it
you're
up.
saying the initial
Yeah,
attack.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
It's just 2 energy.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think, like, it's so weird, man. This set feels like it has a lot of what ifs.
Yeah.
I think this is very on brand for the set. It's a huge what if. Like, this could be really, really good, or it could be awful. We'll never see it again. So,
Yeah, I mean, right now this doesn't seem that good. I can't think of like immediately off the top of my head like a really good partner for it. So I think it hangs out in
Yeah.
C tier until something good comes out that like.
cool with that. We're gonna get fact checked on this in like 2 months.
Yeah, we are definitely get fact checked. All right, the last card. This is actually an insane effect to me. The Legacy Energy, A-Spec Energy. As long as it's attached to Pokemon, it provides every type of energy. So it's a rainbow. But its effect is once per game, so you can't recycle it. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, they take 1 less prize card. So, Neil, what do you think about this one?
I think this card's a crack show. This is pretty good.
Yeah?
It's okay. So I think it gives more merit to Enhanced Hammer. That's for sure. Sinnoh also, like, there might be a little bit more of those things going around on decks that can't really afford to lose a prize at some point. But you think about this and like, and I keep coming back to this example, but like in Zard Mirror, that's pretty huge, man. If you can get one of these things down, your opponent doesn't check it, and they're taking 1 less prize, you're throwing off the whole trade. And like typically in Zard, you're not playing Enhanced Hammer, you're not playing Temple, so I mean, this has the potential to really shake up some matchups, I think.
Yeah, I think the reason they printed Enhanced is because they put this card in the set. Yeah, so I think when you play Pokemon, like most matchups literally come down to like 1 prize, the trades.
Yeah.
So I do think like if this ever goes off in a lot of your matchups, you probably just win on the spot. This is obviously like really, really good with Lugia. You can start putting like Iron Hands in the deck if you want. You can Aqua Return again, which I think is crazy. So I think this card's really, really good. I might even argue it's like S tier, maybe high A, just because you can counter it with like the Sinnoh and the Enhanced. But I think this card's like insanely good.
I think I agree with high A.
Yeah, I think high A makes sense for this.
Okay, let me throw you my trivia question because I have soccer in 30 minutes and I haven't left the house.
Nice.
This episode took forever.
I know it took longer than I
we've
thought
been
it was going to
talking
take.
for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's too much jank in that tier
that's
list.
okay.
Okay,
Our listeners will enjoy the extra content.
of course. Yeah, you dropped a hour-and-a-half long Chimpa video. All right, so in 2022 Worlds, in a Worlds I know you didn't play, so this is why I ask it, because
Okay.
you'll get all the other ones. There were 6 different decks in top 16.
Okay,
Can you name 4 of them?
probably. Okay, wait. Mew, Palkia, ADP, like the Arceus Decidueye deck, the one that won.
With Pikachu.
Yeah. Ice Rider Palkia.
Yep.
So that's 4.
Do you think you can get the last 2? I made it really easy so you could get it, but
Yeah, Radiant Charizard and Teleon.
yeah.
And then I need one more.
The one Rogue Revelation that never really popped up after that.
Rogue. Oh, Aggron with Arceus.
Arc Aggron.
There you go. Bro,
That's pretty good.
You know
man.
I'm
That's
too
pretty
good when it comes to those ones.
Dude, it's just worlds. Like I gotta think of something. I gotta like start testing you on like League Cups in like Alaska or something, dude. I don't know how to get you.
Bro, that's legit like one of my least favorite formats like of all time too.
Yeah.
That's up there,
That
I
was-
think, for worst world formats of all time.
Oh, it's so boring, man.
Yeah.
It was actually so boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was the only worlds I think I've been to that you hadn't been to, because all the other ones I had like retired, and then you retired, and then you unretired, and now I'm unretired, and now, bro, I realized this morning I'm sitting at 599 points. I might just stay here for a while. It's
Bro,
kind of funny.
If you choke this, I might have to get a new host, man.
Yo, at 599, that'd be so funny. Because like I was thinking like maybe I'll go today to go to like Elite Challenge and get it done, but I think I just want to let it marinate. Like I'm not gonna touch it.
You just
I
like
think
that
it's
number.
two jokes, man. 599.
gotta-
I thought it was 597, but it wasn't. It was 599.
Bro, you start messing around. Next thing you know, you're 4-4 at NAIC going to that last round.
Yeah. I'm not even going to NAIC, so I hope.
Yeah,
We'll
there you
see.
go.
I remember one year there was a dude who missed at like 449 or something. He begged Pokemon, and Pokemon was like, "Screw off, bud."
Yeah, I mean, like to be fair, like that's the bar you have to reach. Like I think it like
Oh,
because
100%.
then at that point, there's someone at 448 say like, "Oh, let me in too." Like, yeah, so
you open this whole like can of worms. But anyways, I thought it was like pretty funny because no one else had landed on that number yet that I saw on the leaderboard. So, what I will say though is we are going to get fact checked in about 2 weeks to a month about everything in this video. So I encourage you to timestamp this video of all the times we were wrong. Let us know in the comments. Let us know what bucket hat I need to get. Comment to get those free 18 packs as well. That's pretty big. I kind of forgot about that. And we're gonna have giveaways for the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
yeah, we'll have giveaways just coming up.
Yeah, we're just giving stuff away, bro. It's April. We want to be Santa. Like we're giving stuff away, and courtesy of Banana Games, shout out them. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. You got anything?
No, if you want to learn Chen Pao, I put a cool video on my YouTube channel. With Grant, Shen, Reagan, Retzloff, and Lucas Zing. Check that out. Other than that, like tell us your tier list for this set and which card you most excited to play with, and what bucket hat Neil should get.
Yeah, and if you want to learn Portuguese, ask Kieran.
Yeah, ask me. Obrigado.
Appreciate you. We'll see you guys later. Obrigado.
Ciao.
Peace.